Aye, Thomas, soon. She bit her cheek to control her impatience, knowing his anxiety to be as intense as hers. But first she must see this finished. It was her doing, all of it. Once again Firen's fading blue eyes popped open.
A last thing, girl. The purple, as a shroud.
Her lips drew bowstring tight, like the foreboding that twanged within her. Aye, 'tis fitting. Melisande crossed the chamber to a small, heavily carved chest that had once been a reliquary for the bones of some long-forgotten saint. Now it held only the purple cloak, a sacrilege in itself. She lifted the cloak carefully, not wanting to touch the detested thing, and smoothed it over Firen's body. A shame that such a beautiful garment could be such a malicious weapon. Firen's breath came in shallow pants. His body lay stiff and motionless. His eyes drooped closed, then his breathing ceased. The stillness of death filled the chamber.
"Is he gone?" Thomas called impatiently. "The Normans approach the hall. You cannot delay longer."
"Come and see." Thomas approached the bed and lifted the limp wrist, testing the pulse.
"Aye, he's gone. Come now, hurry."
Dashing to the chamber door, he peered down at the hall. The clangs of metal and rough male voices resonated against the stone walls.
"It is too late, lady. They are below. Perhaps they will not be so harsh. Who could blame you?"
"The Normans could. For all their violence, they are pious men. Never fear, Thomas. There is another way out, if you will delay them a little. You will do as I ask?"
"Aye, lady, and I will see to the Earl."
Melisande turned toward the door, but then pivoted back to face Thomas. "Bury him deep," she said. Thomas's pale grey eyes reflected his concern and gentle fondness of her.
"As deeply as shovel can dig. God keep you safe, lady."
"And you, Thomas. Keep our people safe." It was as much of a smile as Melisande ever made, that small quirking of her lips at their corners, but she gave in the best she could manage. She had learned early in her life to stifle all signs of emotion, so that she now knew no other way. Her light slippers padded against the wooden floor as she ran to the door between the chambers and into her own room. Rough shouts echoed in the bailey. The demons screamed at her.
"Flee! The Norman comes!"
She set her jaw, refusing to let panic rule her.
"You are evil! You are no better than Firen!"
"Be still. I have no time for your mischief."
"Witch!"
"I am no witch." But the Normans would believe she was. When the Norman lord learned of the demons that tormented her, taunting her with her own fears, and of all the things she knew that she should not, he would have her burned. Even before she crossed her chamber, she jerked her silk kirtle over her head. Snatching up a simpler garment of homespun earthen grey wool, she flinched at its scratchiness. But she dared not keep her light linen chemise, for the Normans would know a common girl would not possess such a garment. Wadding her discarded clothing into a ball, she flung it all into the open chest near the window, and almost closed the lid before noticing her mother's ring on her finger. She hesitated, caressing the carved warmth of the gold band. Nay, all must be left behind. She jerked the ring from her finger, threw it into the chest, slammed the lid shut, and turned the key. Footsteps pounded on the bailey's hard earth. In the far corner of her chamber, Melisande pushed aside a painted wooden panel that mimicked the yellow-plastered walls, then crawled through the hole and closed the panel. Down steps hewn into bedrock, she descended in darkness toward a cavern that was as familiar to her as her own bedchamber. 1, 2, 3. Both hands skimmed against the roughly chiseled stone as she counted the steps. The Earl was dead. 8, 9, and the Norman had come. The Red King, William Rufus, would win at last the land he had coveted so long. 16, 17, 18. The Norman lord would take the castle in the king's name, then look about for the bride Rufus had promised him. And with any luck, 25, 26, he would